Hi, my name is Michelle Jewett. Today I'm going to be talking about why I think daycare providers should have basic training on knowing how to identify autism and the importance of early intervention. This is on the spectrum in an in-home daycare setting. When a parent is looking for a child care provider, many questions might be running through their minds. Some common ones might be, are they certified? Are they licensed? Are they a mandated reporter? Or are they trained in first aid? Some not so common questions we come up with might consist of, do they have training in identifying ASD or other developmental disorders? Do they have any experience with ASD? Or do they know what symptoms to look for if they are not reaching their milestones? As a parent, the last thing we expect is for our babies to have a developmental disorder. But if they do, I'm sure I can speak for all of us that we want the best possible care for our children. ASD is also known as autism spectrum disorder. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects a child's behavior, social, and communication skills. It is something that you are born with, and for most, it will require lifelong management. I think that it should be mandatory for child care providers to have basic training in how to identify ASD because early intervention is proven to be the best in helping children with ASD. To become a licensed child care provider, you do need some training and certificates. EMSA certified pediatric first aid and CPR, training for mandated reporter, EMSA certified preventive health practices. Nowhere does the state of California require any special training to providers for children that may have ASD. When children are young, there is a period where their brain is primed to learn early language, social skills, and cognitive concepts. Early intervention works best during these learning periods rather than later in life. Early intervention gives the best start possible for the child. It can build and shape communication, social, cognitive, and practical skills to help development. Early intervention also helps build the child's ability to communicate, physically navigate the environment, play with toys, and learn from peers, adults, and activities. In most cases, parents are the ones to notice if their child isn't reaching milestones for their age or if they are regressing. In other cases, doctors or child care providers notice. If providers were trained to know how to look for symptoms linked to ASD, so many more children and their families would benefit from early intervention. It is proven that early intervention has been the best method in helping children for ASD succeed in many challenging aspects they may face. ASD presents itself in many ways. No two children will have the same symptoms. That's one reason why ASD is so hard to diagnose. Symptoms can start showing as early as 12 months. On the next slide, I will go over a few of the symptoms and signs so you can have a better idea of what to look out for. Some early signs might consist of resisting cuddles when getting picked up, little to no eye contact, might not follow finger when pointing to something, or might not point at objects or events. Some communication signs might be less likely to say single words at 15 months, word repetition, and response to sounds but not to their name being called. Some behavioral signs might be that they rock, spin, sway, twirl fingers, or flap their hands. They like routine and order. They like few activities and like doing them repeatedly throughout the day. And very or not at all sensitive to sound, light, smells, textures, or touch. Now I'm going to be going through some examples of what a child with typical development would do and what a child with a delayed development would do. At 12 months, a typical development child will turn their head when their name is being called. At 12 months, a child with delayed development might not acknowledge being called even after multiple times. At 18 months, a child with delayed speech will point or gesture to make up for not talking. At 18 months, a child with delayed development might make zero attempt to make up for the delayed speech. At 24 months, a child with typical development brings a picture to their parent to share the joy it brings with them. At 24 months, a child with delayed development might bring parents' bubbles to open but does not look at the parent's face or share enjoyment of them playing together. Education on ASD or even developmental disorder should be mandatory when you decide to open an in-home daycare. If providers even knew the information that I gave you today, it would help tremendously in getting early intervention for children. On the next slide, I'm going to list a couple of resources. One is a website from the CDC that offers other resources and a quiz that can help you determine if the child in question is reaching the milestones for their age. Thank you for taking the time to listen to why child care providers should receive mandatory training in identifying ASD and why early intervention is so important.